Hello grade 2 students, welcome to a new lecture. In this lecture, we're going to learn new phonics lesson, we're going to learn new vocabulary words, and we're going to read a new lesson. Our new reading lesson, the title of our new reading lesson is The Boy Who Cried Wolf. We're going to learn new words, and our new phonics lesson is about short U and long. Let's start with phonics. Short U. Short U is the sound you hear in umbrella, umbrella, or for example in the word cup, cup. Can you hear the short U sound? Or another example, we have the word cut, cut. Now let's move on to long U. Long U is the sound you hear in flute, flute. The U and the E work together to make the long U sound. Let's say it together, flute. Or another example, we have the word cube, cube. Let's read these words together. First, we're going to start with the words that have the short U sound. We have the word plum, plum. We have the word dog. We have the word cub. Can you hear the short U sound? Cub. We have the word hum, hum. We have the word must and the word fun, fun. Here we have some words that have the long U sound. We have the word mule. The letter, the U and E work together to make the long U sound. Mule. Here we have the word use, use. Can you hear the long U sound? Here we have the word fuse. Here we have the word huge. Now here we have some high frequency words. Let's read them together. They are not related to short or long U sounds. We have the word rope. We have the word look, nose, yes, and the word there. Now, let's know the meaning of some words together. First, we have the word plum. Plum, plum is a fruit I love to eat. This is a plum. This is called plum. In the word plum, we can hear the short U sound. Let's move on to the word mule. A mule is a strong animal. This is a mule. In the word mule, we can hear the long U sound. Now, the word fuse. If you fuse two things, you put them together. This is an example of fuse. In the word fuse, we can hear the long U sound. Here we have the word cub. The bear cub, for example, let's use the word cub in a sentence. But first, what does the word cub means? The word cub means a baby bear. The bear cub went into the den. This is a cub, and in the word cub, we can hear the short U sound. Here we have the word rope. This is the rope, and we have the word nose. This is a nose. Now it's time to practice. You can find this page in your booklet, page 46. We have to write the spelling word for each definition. Let's read the words together. We have the word plum, must, fuse, cup, huge, and we have the word dog. Dog is the past tense of dig. Let's start reading the first definition. Made a hole in the ground. What do you think? Is it the word plumb or the word dug? Yes, it's the word dug. Let's use the word dug in a complete sentence. For example, the dog dug a hole in the yard. Number 2, very big. Don't forget to cross out the word that you've used. Very big. Yes, of course, it's the word huge. Let's use the word huge in a complete sentence. The mountain is huge. Number 3, a young bear. Who still remembers? What is the word that means a young bear? Is it plum or cub? Yes, it's cub. A sweet fruit. Is it fuse or plum? Plum. A plum is a fruit. I love to eat. Number 5, have to. When you have to do something, you must do it. So must means have to. Number 6, put two things together. If you fuse two things, you put them together. So it's the word fuse. Before starting with our lesson, I want you to know that there are animal stories that teach us lessons about how we should behave. That's why now you're going to watch a short video about the story of the tortoise and the hare. In this story, the tortoise and the hare will teach you a lesson about not giving up. And always remember to be more like tortoise than hare. Now it's time to watch.
The Tortoise and the Hare. A speedy hare lived in the woods. She was always bragging to the other animals about how fast she could run. The animals grew tired of listening to the hare, so one day the tortoise walked slowly up to her and challenged her to a race. The hare howled with laughter. "Race you? I can run circles around you," the hare said, but the tortoise didn't budge. "Okay, tortoise, you want a race? You've got it. This will be a piece of cake." The animals gathered to watch the big race. A whistle blew and they were off. The hare sprinted down the road while the tortoise crawled away from the starting line. The hare ran for a while and looked back. She could barely see the tortoise on the path behind her. Certain she'd win the race, the hare decided to rest under a shady tree. The tortoise came plodding down the road at his usual slow pace. He saw the hare, who had fallen asleep against a tree trunk. The tortoise crawled right on by. The hare woke up and stretched her legs. She looked down the path and saw no sign of the tortoise. "I might as well go win this race," she thought. As the hare rounded the last curve, she was shocked by what she saw. The tortoise was crossing the finish line. The tortoise had won the race. The confused hare crossed the finish line. "Wow, tortoise," the hare said. "I really thought there was no way you could beat me." The tortoise smiled.
"I know. That's why I won."
Animals in stories. What can animal stories teach us? We can learn lessons from what happens to animals in stories. From the tortoise and the hare, we learn the importance of hard work when the slow tortoise beats the fast hare in a race. The hare was faster, but instead of working hard to finish the race, he took a nap. The tortoise worked hard and kept going. He caught up and won the race. In The Lion and the Mouse, we learn that a little mouse can help a big, strong lion. The lion gets caught in a net. The mouse chews through the ropes and saves the lion.
Now it's time to learn some new words. We have the word believe, delicious, feast, fund, lessons, remarkable, snatch, and we have the word stories. The word believe. If you believe something, you think it is true. For example, let's look at this picture. What do you think the weather will be? Do you think it will rain, or you believe, I believe it is going to rain today? So when you believe something, you think it is true. What is something you believe will happen today? Another example, I believe we will study online this year. What do you think? Let's move on to the second word. Here we have the word delicious. The word delicious means tastes very good. When food is delicious, it tastes very good or yummy. For example, we ate the delicious pizza. Describe something that tastes delicious. My mother's food tastes delicious. Don't you think? Or mom cooks delicious food. Now we have the word feast. Feast means a large fancy meal. If you feast, you eat a large or fancy meal. For example, our family sat at the dinner table and started to feast. Another example, on weekends we make a feast. When might you feast? What do you think? Here we have the word fond. Fond means like a lot. When you are fond of something, you like it a lot. For example, Rob is very fond of his puppy. Another example, Julia is fond of her new puppy. What is something that you are fond of? Let's move on. We have the word lessons. Lessons are things you can learn from. For example, I learned a lot from the teacher's lessons. Or we learn lessons from stories also. Yes, of course we do. What lessons do you learn at school? What is the lesson that you've just learned from the story of the tortoise and the hare? Here we have the word remarkable. Remarkable means wonderful. If something is remarkable, it is wonderful or outstanding. For example, I saw a remarkable rainbow in the sky. Describe something that is remarkable. For example, I go to a remarkable school. Let's continue. Here we have the word snatch. If you snatch something, you grab it quickly or you take it quickly. For example, my dog can snatch a flying disc out of the air. Describe how you would snatch something off your desk. Another example, my dog likes to snatch the ball. Now we have the word stories. When you tell stories, you tell made-up tales. So the word stories mean made-up tales, okay? For example, our dad reads us stories before bedtime. What are some stories you like? Now it's time to practice. We have to read each item and choose the correct answer. You can solve it in your booklet, page 39. Number 1. What does the word fond means? Afraid of, caring about, or surprised by? What do you think? When you like something a lot, you Of course, caring about. So we have to circle letter B. Number 2, if you believe something, you think it's true, you think it's false, you think it's nice. Of course, no. You think it's true. So when you believe, you think it's true. Number 3. It's written number 5 here, but it's fine. Which word means good to taste? Delicious, spicy, sour. What do you think? Delicious. Tastes very good. If you snatch something, you hang it up, grab it quickly, or toss it away. Grab it quickly. Good job. Now it's reading time. You ready? The title of our new story is The Boy Who Cried Wolf. The genre is fable. A fable is a made-up short story that teaches a lesson. It has a beginning, middle, and end. Okay? The Boy Who Cried Wolf is a fable because it is a made-up story. It has a beginning, middle, and end. Let's start reading. Long ago, a shepherd boy sat on a hilltop watching the village sheep. A shepherd is a person who guards sheep. Let's continue reading. He was not fond of his job. He didn't like his job. He didn't like it one bit. He would have liked something wonderful to happen, but nothing remarkable ever did. The shepherd boy watched the clouds move softly by to stay busy. He saw horses, dogs, and dragons in the sky. He made up stories with these things as characters. What is the boy's job? Let's look at the picture. How do you think the boy feels when he is doing his job? The story says that the boy's job is to watch all the sheep that belongs to the villagers. And in the picture, we can know that he looks bored. And from the story, we read that he didn't like his job. Let's continue reading. Then one day he had a better idea. He took a deep breath and cried out, "Wolf! Wolf! The wolf is chasing the sheep!" The villagers ran up the hill to help the boy. When they got there, they saw no harmful wolf. The boy laughed. "Shepherd boy, don't cry wolf unless there really is a wolf," said the villagers. They went back down the hill. So what happened here? The boy cried wolf, and the villagers rushed up to help him. Then the boy laughed. Why? I think he laughed because he thinks that it is funny. But it's not. He tricked the villagers by crying wolf when there is no wolf. Let's continue reading. That afternoon, the boy again cried out, "Wolf, wolf! The wolf is chasing the sheep." The villagers ran to help the boy again. They saw no wolf. The villagers were angry. "Don't cry wolf when there is no wolf," they said. The shepherd boy just smiled. The villagers went quickly down the hill again. What do you think will happen? Do you think that the boy will upset the villagers again? Let's read. That afternoon, the boy saw a real wolf. He did not want the wolf to grab any of the sheep. The boy Thought is the past tense of think. The boy thought the wolf would snatch one of them for a delicious, tasty meal. What does the word snatch means? The word snatch means to take, to grab quickly. A sheep would be a big feast for a wolf. He quickly jumped to his feet and cried, "Wolf, wolf!" The villagers thought he was tricking them again, so they did not come. That night, the shepherd boy did not return with their sheep. The villagers found the boy weeping real tears. "There really was a wolf here," he said. "The flock ran away." Flock means the group of sheep. "The flock ran away. When I cried out, 'Wolf, wolf,' no one came. Why didn't you come?" A kind man talked to the boy as they walked slowly back to the village. "In the morning we'll help you look for the sheep," he said. "You have just learned one of life's important lessons. This is something you need to know. Nobody believes a person who tells lies. It is always better to tell the truth." So in this story, in the beginning of this story, the shepherd boy had a problem, right? He was bored and didn't like his job of watching the village sheep. Then he tried to solve his problem by crying, "Wolf, wolf," when there is no a wolf. Then the villagers ran to help the boy, but they were unhappy when they discovered that he had lied. At the end of the story, the boy learned a lesson. What did he learn? He learned that nobody believes a person who tells lies. And after what happened, he will never lie. Now let's read this story related to the genre. The genre is fable. The title of the story is The Fox and the Grapes. You can find it in your booklet, page 42. One day the fox saw a bunch of grapes high in a tree. The word bunch means group. He could not reach the grapes. The fox walked away. Those grapes must be sour, he said. It is easy to dislike something you cannot get. Dislike means to hate. It is easy to hate something you cannot get. Let's answer the questions together. Number 1, how can you tell that this text is a fable? What do you think? First, because it is a made-up story and it teaches a lesson. It uses animals as characters. It used the fox, right? And it is a made-up story. It teaches a lesson. What is the lesson? The lesson is to hate something you cannot get. Number 2, what was the problem of the fox? The problem of the fox was that he could not reach the grapes high in the tree. Number 3, what lesson does the fable teach? It is easy to dislike or hate something you cannot get. Now let's answer these questions that are related to our story. The boy who cried wolf. What is the boy's job? The boy's job, he was a shepherd. What does the word shepherd means? The boy's job is to watch all the sheep that belong to the villagers. Why didn't he like his job? What do you think after we've read the story? The boy didn't like his job because it was boring. He used to sit and watch the clouds and he used to imagine some animals, right? Now let's move on to number 2. Why do you think the boy cried, "There is wolf"? In the beginning of the story, he cried, "There is a wolf," because he was bored and he wanted to prank the villagers. But at the end, what happened? Learned a lesson to never lie. Thank you for listening. Stay safe and don't forget to join our Zoom sessions.